Hey, this is Julia from Swadharma, and today I would like to talk about pregnancy and acroyoga. Ever since Leah's born, and that's more than 5 years ago, I get those messages from my sisters who are being pregnant and having babies, and just as for every woman, all those questions arise when we're pregnant of like, oh my God, what's happening? What are we allowed to do? Is that good, bad? And there are those massive mountains of literature and advices, and then we turn to people who live a similar lifestyle, and we ask those questions. And funnily enough, even though we might have those similar lifestyles, we have this very unique body that, how cool is that, has the wisdom and has everything it needs. It knows how to be pregnant, and it knows exactly what we need in each moment. So every time I get those questions, the only thing that I can do is to reflect back on my sisters, to go through 4 steps. What do you feel? Acknowledge what you feel, own your updated reality, and act accordingly to that. You know, your feeling, your true internal feeling, not what anybody else tells you from the outside, but your true internal feeling is going to tell you moment by moment, day by day, week by week, trimester by trimester, what's important to you, and what's the healthiest way to interact with your body and your baby. And the tiredness and the exhaustion and everything that comes up with pregnancy is so much part of it, and are such powerful signs and such pointers to what we need in each moment. This extra nap in the first trimester, those feelings of like, I don't want to get out of bed, is such a, and if you can, and you can stay in bed, is the best that you can do to yourself, to give your body this extra time and this extra nourishment to grow this new human being. And there might be these moments of bursts of energy, and we get back into our practice, and we're on the mat, and it feels amazing, and we do our practice. And if we can stay connected to this moment by moment listening, we get better and better to assess what is a sustainable choice on our mat. What is a sustainable choice in our acrobatic relationship? Because it might feel good in the moment, and when we assess our body an hour or a day later, we're like, wow, that was really exhausting, and I still feel it. So we can maybe assess those choices too. In this reality of acroyoga, we have the same reality that I guess is all over the world right now. The bigger, faster, more beautiful, more colorful. We post those pictures on Instagram, and I guess me included, those pictures of doing a handstand very late in our pregnancy, and it puts this picture out there that we as women, we just continue to be the way we were before we got pregnant, and it's not true. It is really, honestly, not true. And I think I want to get into the pattern of posting more pictures and videos of full vulnerability, and getting this picture out there that there is very little time for me to train right now. The thing that is important to stay reminded is that, and I guess that's you as an acro-yogini too, is it's a practice that uplifts us, is a practice that fuels our desires and our joy, and is an expression of who we are and what we love. And it is this 40, or in my case 42 weeks, is such a great practice to find a new balance that now that we have this opportunity to grow this human being and walk this path with this human being, that we can find a new balance to stay connected to our desires as well as make sustainable choices for ourselves, our health, and therefore our family and the way we show up in our family. What I learned in my reality is that every choice that supports me to show up in my family emotionally, mentally, and physically full is a sustainable choice, and a choice that helps my little bubble that I have around me. So, am I allowed to do those push-ups? Your body will tell you. Am I allowed to go to sauna? Your body will tell you. Am I allowed to fly this washing machine? Your body will tell you. Something that I would like to give you on your hand to walk this path is, does it feel safe? Do you do it to feed your ego, or do you do it to feed your joy? Do you do it because other people tell you to, or do you do it because your inner desire for joy tells you to do it? And then when you make your choice, every time you show up in your full vulnerability and maybe say, no, that practice is not for me right now, I want to empower you to actually do this step and show up in your authenticity, because it's gonna create a space for your whole environment to show up in authenticity, and it's gonna create a place in your little bubble and in the world that we create an environment where it's not hostile for us being human and having changes in the way we perform in our physical exercises, but a place where we can be this human being that has those waves and that is doing, we just do our best every day, and the outcome might look different, but the intention is the same, to stay connected to what's important for us. So as you have this precious life in your bum, I wish for you to put your hands there every day and every moment and listen. And maybe you also want to put one hand to your heart and to listen there too, because that's going to be the balance that we have to find as mothers, to balance our heart's desires with the heart's desires of our children and feed ourselves so we can feed our children. Thank you so much for listening, and I really hope that helped. Feel into yourself, acknowledge the feeling, own that reality, and make choices according to that reality. If you want to reach out for more information about the power of vulnerability, and also where I get a lot of my inspiration from is by the work of Brené Brown, and she wrote a couple of books. One is The Power of Vulnerability, which is a very foundational book on shame and vulnerability, and as a foundation to walk towards wholeheartedness. And what I'm just listening to is The Gifts of Imperfect Parenting, and I really, really enjoy that book. So enjoy your weeks of magic, and I'm so excited to hear how you make your authentic choices.